DSP tries it.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of DSP Tries It. I am obviously Darkside Phil, and I am in the dark. And the reason that I'm in the dark is because we are about to test out for the very first belch, but excuse me, for the very first time, the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance plasma coil lamp. Okay. So, from what I'm to understand, well, first of all, I got this by purchasing the collector's edition of Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and for what I'm to understand, it's supposed to act similar to like those old, what did they call them, Tesla lamps or whatever, that you used to buy back in the day. You don't really see them that much anymore. But I have no idea if this thing even works. I literally just plugged it in, I turned off all the lights, because obviously if this lamp works, you want to see it. You don't want to see it in the light, you want to see it in the dark to accentuate, you know, its features. So it has two modes. I don't know what the difference in the modes are. Keep in mind that in order to get this lamp, I had to spend an additional, let's see, the game itself cost $60. The collector's edition costs $150. So that's what, 90 extra dollars? But you also got a soundtrack, and the soundtrack's probably worth a good 15 bucks. So really you paid about, you know, maybe shit, 70 bucks extra for this, okay? So we're going to see if it's worth it. First of all, it has two settings, one down and one up. So let's press down first. Okay, so what I'm seeing, if you see on the bottom here, it says Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, and it's kind of a dark blue on the left, and it goes to like kind of a gradient into a white color on the right. And what this has is several LED lights on the inside that are lighting up, basically causing the lamp to glow blue. So that's not very impressive, and I'm really hoping that that's not all, because look, nothing. There's nothing there. So I'm really hoping that that's not the only feature that the lamp has, because I will be very disappointed if I just spent $70 for something that just glows blue. Alright, so let's try the other setting. Ooh, okay. So I was right. This is actually very similar to what they used to call them like Tesla coil or Tesla lamps. I used to see them back in the 1980s, and actually when I was a teenager in the 1990s, when I used to go to the mall a lot, I would go to like Spencer's Gifts, and they would sell these at the store, okay? Now I remember them actually being pretty pricey, like hundreds of dollars, and they would be really weird shapes. You get them in different shapes, like giant globes, or they would be shaped as certain objects and stuff. And I remember one of the coolest features about it is that if you touch it, the electricity actually forms to your fingers. Look at that. It'll follow your fingertips. If you have two fingers, look at that. It'll dance around your two fingers. If you put all 5 fingers, now it goes kind of zany, and it actually will follow along with your fingertips. So that's pretty neat. Now what if we do two-handed? Now you got electricity shooting from all over, from all the different sides of the lamp. So that's pretty neat. It's pretty much exactly what I expected it to be. As I said, I've seen these things go for anywhere from little ones, like I've seen ones less than half this size, okay? Maybe this high. So for like 50 bucks. I've seen gigantic globes go for like 200 or more. So for this one being about 70 bucks for what it is, I don't think that's too bad. These are kind of pricey items, and the one negative that I do have to say about it is that mine did come a little bit scuffed up. On the top here, there's some scuff marks that I think even with the protective plastic, unfortunately, they weren't able to transport these properly, or maybe it happened in the warehouse and they just don't have good QA and they let these things ship out with these scuff marks on them. But if you're into this kind of cool thing, I've never seen a gaming-related piece that was actually a Tesla lamp like this. Like, this is pretty crazy. And what it is, just so you know, this is supposed to be Raiden's sword from the game, kind of just, you know, implanted down there, because in the game his sword is electrified as he cuts through enemies and cuts through robots and cuts through all kinds of shit. So, overall, I think, knowing that I have knowledge of this product, and I have knowledge at least from back in the day when these used to be popular, this would probably be a reasonable price for what it is, being that these kind of aren't very popular anymore. I don't know really realistically price-wise if this is something that's really worth it, but this is a neat thing that I can now turn on every night at my condo, be a nice decorative piece. I mean, let's face it, you could be right here, right next to Isaac Clarke statue. We could turn him on. We got Isaac Clarke's eyes glowing right next to him. I mean, we got so much cool stuff going on here, but it is a really nice piece. It's very bright, vibrant, it's different, it's interactive. It's another thing, a lot of these things, collectibles that you get for video games aren't very interactive. You know, you get, wow, I got a statue. Well, it just sits there. This thing actually moves around and looks pretty cool, you know? So, I actually like it. My one negative about it, like I said, is that unfortunately it was kind of scuffed up at the top here. And I guess the other negative I would say is it would have been nice if it was more than one color. Like they could have implanted more lights down there and had it different modes. Maybe it could be glow red, glow blue, because you know there is a mode in Metal Gear Rising Revengeance called Ripper mode, and it's actually you max out on like rage. And you just go crazy, and your whole body and your sword turns red, and you go crazy, instant killing everything. And if that was actually a mode here, I think that would be cool too, to have a blue, you know, version, a blue and red option to switch between the colors. But for what it is, for 70 bucks, I actually am pretty pleased. This is a cool piece. This is something that even if 20 years from now no one knows what the fuck Metal Gear Rising Revengeance is, I could still have it on display somewhere and turn it on and fuck around with it. And you know, who knows how much longer these things are even going to be made. So, you know, show the kiddies in 20 years, oh, look, a Tesla lamp. They'd be like, what the fuck's that, Daddy? You know, we have fucking floating cars and, you know, we have self-brushing teeth and toilets that fucking wipe our ass for us, and you're talking about a stupid Tesla lamp? We're like, well, shut up, son. Take a look at this and shut your face. Okay, so that's it for this episode of DSP Tries It. I'm going to give the Metal Gear Rising Revengeance Collector's Edition Plasma Lamp a 4 out of 5, because the price-wise actually is pretty much dead on for what you would pay for one of this size. But the only reason it gets a 4 out of 5 is because, number one, it's only one color, and number two, because it does have some scuffs and things on the top here that I am a little disappointed about. I really wish I could have got one that was in pristine condition, but I guess it is what it is, you know. You have to understand that they ship this thing across the country. It goes to a game store, sits in the back, then it gets bumped around, you know, so. Alright, that's it for this episode of DSP Tries It. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.